welcome back to Generation Dan. This is a very exciting episode. We have one of my favorite people on today. But before we get to that, I am Nick Fernandez. I am joined by...
I am Atlas Novak, and I am preceded by somebody who talks like he's an ASMR video.
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, the only person that doesn't have a fancy nickname like Dr. Assless Snowcock or Nick Mouthpleasure Fernandez.
And I am Demi Ellis, and I love Dino the Generic Marvel. He is a marvel indeed. As well as Nick, and I just met Atlas. It's so nice to be here with you guys.
Nice to meet you.
God, it's so nice to be in as well as.
Yeah,
it feels so good. But it is wonderful to be with you, good people, especially at this time of the year, because my mom is a principal of a school, and so she's been going through like prepping the school for Halloween and stuff, and putting things together that way.
At the time of recording this, by the time you're hearing this, it's like I threw my costume in the trash.
Yeah. Your costume's stained.
Yeah. What did you guys go as this year, if anything?
I have not made that decision yet. I do have a Halloween party.
Time traveler. Go back in time and be like, this is what you're dressing up as for Halloween. My girlfriend and I went as Steve and Blue from Blue's Clues. So,
which one of you is Steve? Which one of you is Blue?
I'm Steve. She's Blue.
That seems a little sexist there, Atlas. A little sexist.
It was her idea.
What is Steven
Blue?
Although Blue is a girl.
Yeah.
That's a little known fact in that cartoon.
Also, my girlfriend's a kindergarten teacher, so I feel like that's easier to,
Is anyone else distracted by the lower half of a stormtrooper behind Demi?
The lower half?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that.
Stormtrooper on a shelf. That's much better. I feel like that's more appropriate for Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Elf on the Shelf is for Christmas, but Stormtrooper...
He'll shoot at you and miss.
Yeah.
Which is a great alarm clock.
Yeah.
You know, close by danger, not immediate danger. I think that wakes you up a lot faster. It's a good idea.
Little pew pew.
Are you going to dress up as anything, Demi?
I haven't thought of it yet, but I'm performing at a show that is for Halloween, so I have to come up with a costume. Do you guys have any suggestions? Something funny. I don't know.
If I had an idea for like a couple's costume where you dress up both as Randy from South Park, and then you dress up as Randy as Lord from South Park. You could probably do Randy as Lord, like just put on a fake mustache and the dress, and then.
Yeah, and I can talk like.
I am Lord. Yeah.
It just seems
okay, like I like South Park. Maybe I should consider some of their characters. Yeah,
I feel like you could pretty easily go as like a Russian nesting doll.
Oh my god!
Like if you just you hold the nesting doll and then you just dress like in the kind of the same colors. Oh my god, you have them behind you.
I have them behind me. One of them. This is the top one. It says I have issues. And the last one, a mini one, says I'm bad.
That's awesome.
Nationwide.
Oh my god. So does that tell you that like at your core you're bad? Is that
so it like gets worse as you get smaller, right?
Yeah,
I thought the small one was going to say issues. And
yeah.
Oh. I thought it was just going to say childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma. That worked.
This one is like, no, I got over my trauma and I'm just bad.
See, I found that this has been a great time to do that, where you're like, my whole personal outlook was horrible. Now I spend time at home with myself, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to change things, and just get over it and start being myself. I think it's been nice. But
that's incredible.
All of us got time to have something to figure it out through this pandemic.
Well, it feels disappointing if we had all this time off and then you come out just as bad as you were going in. You're like, oh, I have no one to blame but myself.
Yeah, especially with the government and all that CERB money they were giving us. We all had kind of a little bit of support, at least.
I'm envious. We
Yeah.
got like
Did you guys
$600
have
one
that?
time. Yeah,
Oh.
we got like $600 once. California did one for all the residents of California, and that was a few hundred that I was mostly just using to help pay off an ambulance that I didn't want called on me because the U.S. healthcare system sucks. Fuck you guys.
How much is an ambulance?
Why did they send you an ambulance you didn't want?
So talked about this before, but I'm epileptic.
I'm sorry.
So I had a seizure. It was before I got the bracelet. And people would just assume this is his first one. We have to call an ambulance. But you don't. There's nothing to do. Just hang out with me until I wake up again. That's it. Yeah, I'm not going to swallow my tongue. Like, I'm fine.
See, I realized this the other day was at a certain point when you look like an adult, like Nick still has that youthful, maybe he's just a mature teenager look. It'll be gone soon. But
Yeah, he definitely looks like the thing that high schoolers go ask him to buy him beer.
For sure. He's definitely a
He
narc.
looks like Jesus.
Definitely like Jesus, but a youthful Jesus. Right?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
like
he's like Jesus who's here to party. That's
This is feeding the many with the loaves and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This
like,
isn't
like
like this isn't Last Supper Jesus.
This is the opposite of most of the riffs on me because it's getting better as you continue. Like it's turning into a compliment, and I'm confused.
You look like
usually it spirals down. This time it was spiraling up.
Good.
You look like a good time. I'm still gonna cover my drink. That's how about that? Is that a good one?
Okay, wait. So
good save, Dino. Good save.
If he looks like a mature teenager, where was that going originally?
Well, this is the thing: is if at a certain age, people just assume you might be dead from whatever is happening. Like if you fall asleep on the couch and someone calls your name and you don't wake up, they're like, maybe. Like for me, that has happened a couple times where Victoria was like, Dino, wake up. Oh my God. And I go, huh? And she's like, oh. And I'm like, I need to make some better choices.
Is it because your breathing is imperceptible, or?
Yes. Specifically, it does. I have a sleep apnea, so like there'll be times where I just kind of and while I'm sleeping, and she's like, that can't be right. And I'm like, I'm working on other stuff, and then that's in the pipes. I gotta go get a sleep study done again so they can prescribe me a machine. Yeah.
I gotta do that too. I'm not looking forward to it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had my adenoids out as a kid because they were just not shrinking like they were supposed to.
What are your tonsils?
No, your adenoids are up here in your sinuses. They help filter amniotic fluid when you're a fetus. They're supposed to get smaller as you get older. And mine just never did. So
listeners, if you're tracking on the index cards, we've reached the geriatric portion of the episode.
Generations.
This is where we talk about the diagnosis we have and the ones we think we might have. And
so Maestro carried over to my lumbago, and then my sciatica started acting up. Yeah,
the appointments that they're waiting to get with specialists, because I discuss with my nonna pretty regularly, and like most of those discussions, it's like I have a dentist appointment next week. I'm waiting to hear when I'm meeting with going to my regular physician, and because I need to get the referral for the hearing doctor, right? And that's the majority of the conversation, and I feel like we just went through that right here.
Wait, E-N, right? N? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So E-N-T.
You're doing E wrong.
What was E? Oh, E. E-N-T. There you go. That's American
Your nose and throat.
Yeah. So I assume it's for that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so adenoids got him out when I was a kid.
What was that about? Were you just trying to flex on us with your shoddy ASL?
That's right.
I was.
Remember, hey. So just so you know, to me, Alice has literally kept on going like this, some sort of gesture as an E when it's actually this.
It's like almost a fist, kind of like your mid clench. Yeah.
But for weeks he's been going like a gang sign, like E.
Yeah. Or just like a 3 turned sideways. It's yeah.
He didn't even do it right. I love it. It's great.
That's fun. That's really fun.
You guys are fun.
Listen, Nick, you're gonna find this knowledge very important later in life, okay? Because you know how many people in their generation that are like, oh, I gotta call the doctor. Oh, it means I have to talk to the secretary. Oh, I don't want to talk to anyone. Me, I'll get on the phone. I'm like, who's your supervisor? I'm talking to them. I'm getting in this week. That's gonna happen.
I am so good at dealing with bureaucracy and phone and figuring out who to talk to. Like the last time I tried, I had to deal with like my internet provider. I was able to get 3 months free because just by being nice to the people and complaining in the right ways, and it was great. I was saved myself like $500. It was awesome.
This is how I imagine you complaining. Like, thank you for taking my call. I don't want to pay for it.
No. No, what you do is you start with addressing what's concerning you, but telling them that it's not their fault that you're frustrated, and thanking them for their help at every single point. Just be the ideal customer in their day, because people that you're talking to on the phone, they have a certain latitude of stuff that they're able to give you for free, like without approval.
Yeah.
And you and if you're nice to them, you can rack up to the top of that. And then if they're not able to help you at the end of that, they transfer you to the next person who also has another bound of stuff that they can give you for free. So like if you like be really polite and nice to people and just ask about it the right way, like you can get a lot of good shit.
Apologizing for your frustration is key. Where you're going, hey, I'm sorry. I know I've been a bit curt. It's not you, but it's the whole situation. So I'm sure you can understand, being a human being, how this situation is frustrating for me. And as soon as you humanize each other and you humanize them, and even I've worked on a phone before. I'll say like, hey, I know you deal with problems all day, so I really am sorry to really bog you down with this, but for me, it's my only problem, so it gets all of my focus. And they're just like, I understand. Let me help. And I'm just like, Dino's getting free stuff.
And he starts to do a little dance.
I do randomly dance.
Please tell me we can save that audio file just for the Dino's
I'm absolutely sure we can. Absolutely
sure we can. Make gifts.
Dino's getting free stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd use it.
Well,
guys. Yeah. Can I say about my complaining?
Yes. Of course.
I'm terrible with complaining because I'm always just being super nice, super polite, and then to one point I explode. My friends say that I'm like a Jigglypuff. I'm just like Jigglypuff, and my husband calls me Bear. So I'm either like super nice and won't ask for anything. I'll eat something that has hair in it and hope it's mine. But on the other hand, I'll just be like, for super nothing important.
I know she's describing it as just brah, but I bet like in person it is like so much more terrifying.
I've seen her mad. I've seen her mad before.
Do tell. What's the...
okay, so she goes from nice, polite foreigner with, I'm invading your country, I might stab you. It's all just, she's like, hey, and then she's like, and you're like, oh, she's got a screwdriver. She's coming after me. Like it's a very, but she pulls it back very quickly.
Kind of like a transition.
No, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
So it's like, I got a screwdriver, Phillips head, motherfucker. I'm coming for you.
Oh yeah. No, she'll go.
Phillips head.
She'll go with the Phillips. It opens the wound. That's why flathead is just.
It's a stabby thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Generation.
I don't have a screwdriver. I promise.
Do you think like the person who stabs people with screwdrivers, like if they have a Phillips head, like do they call their like, is it like, hey, this is Philly, I stab people with Philly, like I feel like they would have a name for it, right?
Well, I'm watching Game of Thrones with my girlfriend, and they tend to name their swords. So why not do that with a screwdriver?
I object. I object to the comparison between a screwdriver
And a sword. I
okay?
got
Yeah.
it. I'm just
A
saying
sword
they
will
named
have a
their
lion
weapons.
on the handle. If you buy, okay, I would buy this though. But a screwdriver with a lion on the handle, like I would get that, but I'm never screwing anything with that thing. Like it's just going to be on a wall for display.
That would
Wow.
be
Then it
like
gets to me.
in an alternate universe where Dino became a
Oh,
construction
God.
worker. That would definitely be something he has. As
Guys,
the
I
core.
think we have a product here. That we could sell these, like
The manliest
swords.
of tools.
Yeah, swords with that are they're screwdrivers, but they're swords, and then just the end is the screwdriver head, so you can like screw in things with a long sword. You know.
There's a street market for those in Oshawa. I don't think we're allowed to make those. Those are weapons, man.
There's definitely something to that.
Yeah, that's very popular in the homeless community, friend.
That's very like Axe body spray level
And
energy.
you know what? It's so neat.
Unnecessarily
You could-
masculine.
That's how you make it fire.
Yeah.
Light it on.
You could,
I have a
sell
deodorant right now that's sandalwood. You know what it's called? Timber. Like, just call it sandalwood, man. Like, I'll buy the thing. I like the smell of sandalwood. Why do you? It's either that or it's named. It's named after a biome, right? Forest rush, tundra mist. Like, come on.
Mine's called Champion. I'll be honest.
God damn
Like,
it.
it's Old Spice Champion, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Okay,
Guys,
Demi, what do they
I'm
call
a wolf
deodorant?
thorn, man.
Like, what's your deodorant called?
My deodorant?
Yeah, like, what's the
Dove.
name for it?
Dove.
But it doesn't have
Dove.
any special name or anything. Like,
Like, there's
Like
no
some-
name for the.
Oh,
scent or anything?
if I named it.
no,
No, literally,
as a
what?
marketing thing.
No,
Yeah.
the women's
No,
the women's
it's a-
deodorant
it's a
is literally
black-
just called Dove, right? Like it just says
Dove
Dove on
black currant flavor.
it. Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And that's
There you go.
scent, not flavor. I'm not eating.
Yeah. Gets the point across.
Well, I mean, flavor
Yeah.
is mostly scent, right? Like
Yeah.
a large portion of it.
Yeah.
That's
there was a prank that someone did in my high school where he like hollowed out like a deodorant pack and he like washed it out and everything, and then he poured white chocolate into it, and then walked around the school eating deodorant just to gross bit. This was on Halloween. Like he was walking around being like, "It's delicious, you guys. You got to try." And people were like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Did anyone try it?
no, because it looks
No?
like
no,
deodorant.
but did they try
I know,
his
but
though?
yeah, from him. Did anyone try it? Because there are always some crazy people who would maybe do it. No,
Yes.
nobody was brave enough.
No, it
No?
turned out he got the idea from a Homestar Runner cartoon, and
Oh,
then
okay.
so people were like eating deodorant, and then they Googled it, and it was like in this Homestar Runner cartoon, blah 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 blah. So they're like, oh fuck you.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
man,
wow.
See, that's
The
a good-
internet
so,
ruining
yeah.
fun.
It's a
At
good
first I was
prank.
like,
Yeah,
it's a good prank. Well, it's a very good Halloween prank.
yeah.
I feel like it's because it's. I feel like weird stuff happens during Halloween consistently, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, somebody's eating deodorant. Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
It's
What was
like it's like filling a mayo tub with vanilla ice cream. Or
There you
vanilla
go,
pudding,
yeah.
sorry. Vanilla pudding.
Yeah.
And then you just eating the pudding.
Mhm.
And then it looks like you're just going like I like mayo, but personally like a spoonful of mayo is
Yeah, a little
revolting.
bit on a sandwich. I'm not eating the thing out of the jar. That's
I dip my
Yeah.
fries in it, like but still
a very
eating-
Canadian thing for you to do.
it's a very European thing, actually. But
Oh,
go-
incredible.
okay.
yeah,
Well, what I
It's
do is
French.
it's actually really good.
I have a pile of mayo, and then I have a pile of a little pile of ketchup, and then what I do is I dip first in the mayo, and then dip in the ketchup
That's
because I
called
want
Russian
more mayo
dressing.
than
You're
I
not
want
new.
more mayo than the ketchup. And
It's
it,
Russian
Is that how
gives a
you
nice
lost
balance.
weight? You took forever to
Yeah,
fucking get
me
through
too.
things. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
I have a lot of processes when I eat.
Mhm. For that mouth pleasure.
Yeah.
I get it. That's
Prioritize
fair.
it. Yeah.
So, what like when you were growing up in school and stuff? What was like? Did you have teachers doing Halloween stuff? Did they decorate the classroom? Like any stories from that? I know we're 3 weeks after Halloween, but still.
Well, it was weird because. There,
What?
are we back?
We
We
never
were never
left.
gone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I froze.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'll just go get my cat. I hear you still.
Go for
There's
it.
a kitty. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another kitty.
Go.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, no, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so it was always weird for Halloween, right? So everyone's like, "Oh, we're decorating the whole place," and I'm like, "I'm not allowed to do that."
Oh,
Like, are you gonna dress up? I'm like, "No."
I'm not
Are you gonna
allowed
go
to.
around? Like, the funny
Dino
part
had a
was
great costume every year. He just wanted us a depressed child,
that's
and it was
well, that's the thing.
uncanny. It was uncanny.
It always seemed like a lot of work, and I was like, "This seems ridiculous." Like, I wouldn't bother. Like, it never.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Remember, I had a good childhood, so.
Yeah. Did you ever like do little stuff to rebel? You look up like the Freddy Krueger sweater and you just buy it. You're like, no, this is a regular sweater.
No, but my parents tried to make sure that we didn't feel left out. So they would still buy some candy and they would make us a little bag, and we got like a little share of candy that we didn't normally get around the same time. Just because, you know what? Like, if we wanted a gift, my dad would be like, "Okay, do this extra housework and we'll get you the gift." Like, it wasn't like we were upper middle class. I'm like, we were fine, right? Like,
So
we
you
went
got some Hershey's on November 2nd. You know,
it's yeah. Well, that's my
they got
mom.
the candy on sale. You know, they
Listen,
got candy on sale.
both my parents
They
came
had
from
candy,
poverty.
so
Yeah, so they would always. My parents came from poverty. They would always try and save some money, right? Like even when we started having money, they would be like, "No. Why would you waste money?" So like it was perfect. The day after Halloween, my mom would go and buy a ton of candy.
As an adult, I am so excited about buying that like massive 80-pack of the fun-sized Maynards, like all the gummies, like the assorted flavors.
I have like
can't wait.
10 boxes of those fun-sized candy. My wife's like, "I don't care if they're on sale." It's like, I have a job. I'm just gonna buy whatever I want.
That's one of the best parts about being an adult is like you can totally buy the dumb shit, and then like you realize the consequences of stomach afterwards.
Yeah,
you can buy a cake and eat it for dinner.
Yeah,
but no one will stop you. You're like, somebody should stop you.
But you'll have the consequence of wanting to vomit or whatever.
Yeah, that's the hard part about being an adult. No one rewards you for eating broccoli.
Yeah. Demi, so you said you're Croatian. Did you grow up in Croatia or in Canada? Or?
Yeah, yes, I grew up in Croatia. I came here when I was an adult. In Croatia, we don't really have Halloween. So now it's getting popular, because of Instagram and internet. But before, when I was growing up, we do wear masks and stuff and costumes before Lent. 2 days before. How do you call the Wednesday? The Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday. Yeah. So 2 days before Ash Wednesday, in Europe, Carnival is popular. There's even the Venice Carnival happening then. So and kids go trick or treating in the place where I grew up. So we would go as kids, and they don't give you candies. We would get money. You give money to kids.
Arguably better, if I'm being honest.
Less diabetes.
So 2 days before Lent, children in Croatia go panhandling.
What does that mean?
Are welcome. Beg for money. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that word.
So all the kids go as homeless for that.
Yeah.
Well, the idea behind all of the like the candy or the money is to ward off, to pay off evil spirits, right? Like that's the whole idea behind that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, but that's true.
Would...
Yeah, the adults would do that, right? Even like Victoria's family will give money on Chinese New Year and stuff, and it'll be a specific denomination or an amount of money because of the good fortune with giving that to somebody, but also receiving it, right? Like there's, and remember, Croatia, Greece, we fought monsters in history. That's how that worked, right? We like dress up like a monster. No, I killed a monster. I don't have to worry about dressing up as one.
Well, because that's where the phrase "trick or treat" comes from. Like, give me some fucking candy, or I'm making your house. That's like
that's
what
idea.
is supposed to be on paper.
Oh, that's
fair. That's what it is. Okay, I didn't know.
Also, kids are assholes. So
one of my best friends, he started dating a girl who was Chinese, and around Chinese New Year, he was like, he had like gotten to know the family, and he was over there, and he came home and he was like, hey, I'm a huge fan of Chinese New Year. I'm like, why? He's like, I went home with $1,800.
What?
He was
Yeah.
new to the family, and
Holy shit.
they had like, but it wasn't just like
new
their
boyfriend?
family. It was like you know, it was
Cousins,
their cousins
aunts,
and stuff,
uncles,
and like everyone under a certain age gets a fucking pocket, right? So
unmarried,
Wow.
unmarried, yeah.
unmarried people all get it, and especially if he's new to the family, which was this guy. People are like, "Oh, that should be celebrated to show how much they're welcome to the family." And yeah, oh, dude, I clean up.
He spent it all on computer parts. It was hilarious.
I was gonna say,
He was
if you gave
Daddy's getting a new
$1,800 to a
graphics
millennial,
card.
holy shit, we're like, I'm paying off.
They're buying a car.
Either a junker car, they're paying off their rent for the month, so they have a little bit of like windfall. Just would do so much for a broke millennial like me.
But that's the whole idea, right? Like the idea behind things like Christmas and Halloween and celebrating things like Lent, like it's the idea that you would use that opportunity to kind of share the wealth and celebrate the next generation, right? There's a lot of elements through that where now it's like, hey, give me candy, or I'm going to egg your house. Which, while I'm not against necessarily, it's really not the basis for the idea, right?
Yeah, Atlas is going to break up with his girlfriend and find a Chinese girl now.
No.
Gotta pay that rent.
Daddy's got some debt.
Actually, I have no debt, barely. But I have no debt somehow.
That makes you wealthier than a lot of people.
That's true. I had to basically beg my way out of college in terms of like getting financial. Like I went to the financial aid board and I'm like, please, 2 more semesters. Just get me through this year and I'll leave you alone for the rest of your life. Just please. And like somehow got it. Got me through, got me out, barely without any student loans. I'm never going back.
And look where you are now.
Yeah, never going back to college. It's the best experience I never want to have again. Just yeah. But what was the thing about trick or treat? Oh, okay. So I heard this news story earlier this week where there are shitty white people like myself, except more religious, and they're trying to get something going called Jesus Ween. Have you guys heard of this?
Jesus
what?
Jesus Ween, like Halloween plus Jesus.
Oh,
Jesus
Ween.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ween.
That sounds
Halloween's already All Hallows Eve. It's like it's right after All Saints Day. It's already Christian.
What's that mean?
Jesus Ween is literally supposed to be you going around to people in Halloween costumes, having fun, getting candy, being like, Jesus loves you. And then you give them Bibles when they knock on your door, which is like, fuck you. You're getting egged. And but because everybody hates it, because why would anybody like that?
Right.
Also, you're not allowed to wear costumes. It's got to be like plain white clothing. Because we're like just a click away
you're
from
wearing
the
Jesus
KKK.
costume.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's everyone going as a Jehovah's Witness. That's what that is.
Nick, if you could
that
go
was
like
Saturday growing up,
come back in a bathrobe, we could exemplify this perfectly. But
We should send Nick to them. He can be their leader.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But anyway,
well, Nick already is smart enough to be a cult leader, right? Like,
yeah, he could.
He definitely studies human behavior as a hobby, and then hey, I'm going to do comedy. Maybe talk on a podcast. Maybe I own a hippo.
I just love the idea that I show up and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing? How dare you dress up as Jesus?" And I'm like, "It's just me."
Yeah.
Like, this is how I've always looked, child, and just. Yeah,
and you're like,
I would double down at that point.
Jesus would never wear an AFI T-shirt. They're a Fall Out Boy fan.
Yeah, and then there's like we're next to a frozen lake, and I just walk across it.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. So because this has been going on for about 10 years. It started in I think 2012 or something, and because everybody hates it and it's dumb, around now, like it's been about 10 years. They're starting to get a little bit of traction with like Trumpers, because and
gross.
Yeah, but because everybody is dumb, everybody hates it and it's dumb. They're like, maybe we should let the kids wear masks, just paper masks. That's it. And eventually, they're gonna backslide just back into Halloween, right? It's gonna be a thing where everyone hates it so much that it just goes like, okay, you can wear costumes, okay, you can give out candy, okay, you can decorate, and we're just back to Halloween.
But the candy has to have like one of those little pamphlet things attached.
Yeah,
well, it's got
a little tag.
Leather.
It's got a tag.
It's gonna be like fruit leather, paydays. Smarties,
Oh.
Necco wafers, just all the shittiest candy. Like,
Hey. A fruit to go is still pretty good, you know?
okay.
No,
I'll give
no,
you
it's
fruit to
not.
go.
Listen.
I
You're
want a
thin
candy
now.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's because you're a human being to me, Atlas. Nick is a monster. Okay, he got thin, and it's unacceptable.
Hey,
sir.
just
I
call-
liked
I'm-
fruit leather as a child. All
I'm
right.
a human being to Dino the genetic marvel. I win.
A human. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been pretending to be a human being
Yeah.
for many years. Okay,
Atlas,
I perfected it.
you just remember, plebs are still human beings. They're just
Oh my
plebs.
god! I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm not getting in the middle of this. Debbie, I'm
Ridiculous.
sorry you had to see that.
But
I'm
Demi,
loving it.
I'm curious for that feast before Lent. Like, was there a certain type of food that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a part of it?
Donuts. We eat
Donuts?
donuts, and I honestly forgot why. I knew that, but people make donuts at home, and then in bakeries they sell donuts. You can get donuts everywhere you go at that time. My mom would make donuts. My sister, who is like very motherly woman, she makes donuts for her kids.
What
Yeah,
type of donut? Like, is there a certain shape or?
Oh, it's just that basic donut. I think you have that in it in Italy as well. You know, like those
Is it like
donuts.
like a lucumava, like the Greek ones? Like it's just a little dough ball with like either some honey or sugar on it.
Yeah, but it's a large one. We don't make them small.
Yeah.
They're like this.
Yeah,
This big.
that's
Yeah,
how my mom would make them.
What is your background? Do you know?
So are
Are they called krofni?
Krasny.
Yeah.
Krasny, yeah.
So
Krasny.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
for-
Dino, your mom?
Here, Dino, can you put this up? Can you put a picture up?
There we go.
of this
Sorry
up?
about that.
He froze up in like the best way possible.
Oh, I'm sending you. Yeah, okay, you already did.
So-
Okay.
I put a link in the chat.
I'm Greek, but my mom is Macedonian. So she like you know what, she could, if you talk to her in Croatian, she would probably understand you, but you wouldn't understand her.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is the weirdest thing, but yeah, I get it. It's
It's like them and Slovenians. There were countries in former Yugoslavia that spoke different language, but Serbian and Bosnian and Croatian are very similar. We all understand each other, but I don't know anything from Macedonian.
No, so where my mom is Greek, right? But she's from what used to be Macedonia, right? Like way back. But so if somebody is like, she can understand a lot of people who speak certain Russian dialects, Bulgarian, Croatian, like a lot of languages where she'll understand what they're saying, but if she tries to talk back, they're like, it's just gibberish, like they don't understand at all. Which I'm like, but her language is dying, so it's.
I know. When did your mom move here? When did she come to Canada?
Oh, it would have been in the
1800s.
Oh, she's like my
generations.
Generation.
Yeah. There you go. Generation.
She came over on a Viking ship. She was rowing.
Really? On a Viking ship?
No, he's joking.
Oh no! I smoked a joint before this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
I had to come in. Don't worry about it.
In what other way is the best way to do it?
Oh my god!
Is weed legal in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, it's legal here too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, broke Demi.
Yeah.
She came on a Viking ship. Oh my god.
Did anyone else picture her like with the little like creature tied around her neck, tied around her head?
100%.
But you know, I just you know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Also. Dino's mom is Thor.
Coming from
That's
Macedonia on a Viking.
Listen, my mom would throw a slipper and it would return to her. Like she would around a corner, hit you in the head, and come back to her. And she's like, "Meh."
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
She is either Thor or Captain America.
Well, no, because that's
a little bit of
Hammer
both.
would do. He would throw and then would come back to him.
Yeah.
And then it only has a short handle because Loki was being a dick while it was being forged. because of course he was. And like the guy who was like working the bellows, like Loki turned into a little fly and was like pissing him off, and he like couldn't do it properly, and then that fucked up the handle for whatever reason.
Oh, that's why it's a short hammer?
Yeah, that's why it's a short handle, because Loki's a dick. Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean Norse mythology Loki, not fucking Marvel Loki.
No, of course not.
I'm impressed because like that's a random fact even I didn't know. So
there you go.
It's a good one.
Yeah. No, I was that kid where like when I found out where my name came from, I was like, I'm getting made fun of all the time. I'm gonna find out more about the things so I can fantasize about being a god or whatever, and then got into more mythologies that way. Like every year in history class, there was a little mythology unit. I was like, this is my fucking jam. Let's do this shit.
So you went Norse with it. I got super into Greek mythology.
I worked my way through Greek mythology and I was like on to the next thing and then Norse. And
do you ever remember that? Did you ever watch that cartoon, Class of the Titans, where it was like it might have just been a Canadian show, but what it was like it was about like teenagers who were like descendants of the different gods, different Greek gods, and they had like their different like powers and stuff.
There was a book series called The Lightning Thief. That was pretty big here in the U.S.
Percy Jackson, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
The movie
but it
was terrible.
Stupid.
The movie was terrible. They fucked it up real bad.
Yeah, they did. It was horrible. Yeah. But at the same time, it had a lot of flashing lights and cool.
Yes, and a pen that could turn into a sword for whatever reason. So
that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the pen thing. Yeah.
Oh, because the pen is my sword. All right, so it's almost Thanksgiving here in the U.S., and I know you guys already had your Thanksgiving. Okay, thank you. Thanksgiving like a weirdo in November. A lot of our listeners are in the U.S., so bite me.
Listen, that doesn't change it. It's weird.
Okay, fine.
Thanksgiving as a whole is weird. Let's be honest.
Well, definitely, because like as a kid, they would teach it like the pilgrims showed up with buckles on their hats, and then they
Canadian Thanksgiving doesn't have that pilgrim connection as much.
Good, because this was really dumb how they taught it.
It's mostly just like in the name. I think we pivoted much more to we're just about thankful and about like harvest bounty type of stuff.
Smart.
So what about American one?
So the American one, the way they would teach it to little kids, and maybe my girlfriend can vouch for me because she's a kindergarten teacher. She will have to do this year. But they would teach it like the pilgrims showed up. They had buckles on their hats for whatever reason, for religious freedom because the British were being dicks. They show up. The American Indians are like, hey, man, good to see you. Nice to meet you. I'm going to teach you how to put fish in the ground with corn for whatever reason. And it'd be like, this will grow you some nice fish corn bushes. And then they had a feast together. And there was no genocide and no smallpox and everything was cool.
Can we take a pause before the genocide part with fish corn?
I remember this being a thing where like Squanto put fish in the ground with corn because it was apparently supposed to help fertilize the soil better.
Yeah, it's also supposed to help against as a pesticide type thing.
Oh, cool. I'm sure it's also a nitrogen thing to help.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As the flesh rots, it's good for the plants. And
yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah,
must have smelled great.
I bet. Yeah.
That field after about a week, just
it's underground. It's not like you hang fishes from trees, you dipshit.
Yeah.
Worse than your mom's Viking boat.
Yeah. Just as musty.
Nick, your mom was a Viking, Fernandez.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh my god. So
actually, Atlas, I'm gonna be in the States for your Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna be immigrant judge of which one is better, Canadian or American Thanksgiving. I'm gonna experience both this year.
Interesting. Where
I'm going to Florida.
I'm so sorry.
St. Petersburg. Where are you located? In California, you said?
So, Mom is in all caps. I'm in California, but I will be going to Austin, Texas for Thanksgiving with My girlfriend, because we're meeting up with her friend for Thanksgiving. Which this is
Is she from Texas?
Friendsgiving, yeah.
Friendsgiving, nice.
Yeah.
So, will you be having barbecue for Thanksgiving, I assume?
I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm in for. This is my first Thanksgiving without
smoked turkey leg, I imagine, will be on
perhaps.
the menu.
It's my first Thanksgiving without any sort of like biological family there. So,
Maybe because you call them your biological family.
Well, because she's my family too. Because I love her.
Oh,
and she.
You have to make it. You have to make it sweet.
Fine, fuck you too.
Fuck you.
Hey, where are you going in Texas?
Austin,
Texas. Ooh,
Yeah.
Cool.
it's like the one blue spot in a sea of red, basically.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
go
Yeah.
try. Did they finally? They've opened up a couple of comedy clubs in that area. You going to do any time or?
I think so. I've been like trying people and nobody's answered me. It's always been like, "Hey, LA people, do you know anybody in Texas where we are currently not?" Because the only time there are not really a lot of people
Overlap?
from Texas coming to LA that are comics. Usually, it's people going from LA to Texas. It's not the other way
I
around.
might be able to link you up with somebody.
Oh, yes, that would be cool. Even if it's just a little spot.
Wow, that whatever happened to your body when you heard that from Dino was interesting. Woo!
Full erection. That's what you
Ooh. God, imagine if like that's the sound that was made every time you got aroused. Ooh! Like a Mrs. Doubtfire. Like
You immediately turned into like a mid-century
You're like, that's the thing now.
English. Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
yeah, like Mrs. Doubtfire, like Julia Childs. Ooh,
Yeah.
French cooking. All right.
Yeah. Basically, George Takei. Oh my!
God bless that man. He's the best.
Apparently, he's not.
He's
Really?
horrible.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
Helen. He's Ellen DeGeneres. That's what he's like. He's
Wait,
nice on
seriously?
the outside, but
Yeah.
he's a dick in person, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. I never
Apparently,
knew that.
William Shatner hates him.
Like Jenner.
Eh.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And,
There's a podcast I listen to called Song versus Song, which is exactly what it sounds like. But they ask these questions at the end before they take the like vote on which one was better. And the one of them is William Shatner has to do a cover of one of these two songs because the like Rocket Man burning out his fuse out here alone. Like, so which one has to be done in like a Shatner cover of like the two songs being talked about in the episode?
So William Shatner singing is kind of like
Hold on.
Frank Sinatra, right? It's that
Let-
walking,
it's like-
talking.
70% Frank Sinatra, mostly talking.
Yeah.
I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So, won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. That's William Shatner.
No,
Sounds like
you're
he's
not
replicating.
you're not surprised enough with it. It's will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Stand up, like because he kind of rides that
no.
way.
It's gotta be changing octaves on the stand up. It's gotta be stand up, stand up, stand up. That's how it's
He's got it. Yeah, Dino got it. Yeah.
Oh, wait, this has to be one of the highlights. This is.
Gotta give it up.
I've been frozen half the time. I just came back to you impersonating Slim Shady as William Shatner, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely gold. That's good.
So I'm thinking, like if you could like take any song that you can think of, what's your like Shatner-fied song that you'd want him to do?
I really like the idea of William Shatner doing Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license, because like the idea of him talking about like the unrequited like teenage love, like
Well, make it happen. Let's
absolutely
go.
hilarious to me. It's like I got my driver's license last week, just like we always done. Like, and with that underlying like really really saccharine melody. Oh god. it's just such a ridiculous. Because I'm picturing him like in the music video. That's what's happening in my head. Like him driving past like a teenage dude's house, like watching him like having dinner with his family.
Yeah.
Kind of a Kevin Spacey type of vibe. Oh god.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I just for the comedy, Demi, do you have one? Like, what would you want Shatner-fied?
Well, I would actually want to Google who is with William Shatner. I
He
probably
was-
know his face.
He's Captain Kirk on the original Star Trek.
That didn't help.
Oh, is that the guy who? Oh, that's the guy who went to the space the other day,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yes,
he rode the
yes.
peanut
Oh,
butter. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I know the name, but I couldn't just connect with the face. Oh, yeah.
You're probably a
but
better
he was-
person for not knowing who he is. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
He was also in a Twilight Zone episode, the one where like he's on a plane.
You
There's
think
something
that's
on the
gonna
way.
be a?
Mhm.
You think that's gonna be more of a reference, Atlas? You think
Twilight Zone's a classic. Fuck you.
I love how Atlas tries to make things like help
Like
you
a
pop your
normal
memory, and you're
reference?
like, where would you get that reference from? It never once has I said, oh, that cleared things up. It's always going, no, that's much worse. That's
Yeah.
definitely worse.
Oh,
I'd like to hear William Shatner sing "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. That
fuck
song.
you and fuck that song. Holy shit. I hate that song so
I-
much.
Love that song. One of my favorite movies is Love Actually, and I don't give a shit if anyone knows it.
Ooh.
Okay,
I love it.
Love Actually is a good movie. That song is a travesty.
Yeah.
I have a video
know-
on my Instagram that is a hilarious depiction. I will send it to you, Alice.
Love Actually
Literally,
is
when I
great.
hear that da-da-da-da-da, I'm like, I'm leaving the room. I'm out.
Here's a question I have for you. What is your favorite romantic comedy? Like, I assume yours is Love Actually, Dino.
Yeah. I have a copy of it. I watch it almost every Christmas.
How about you, Atlas?
When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally. Okay. Interesting.
Fine.
I don't.
Thank you,
I actually don't think I've ever seen it.
It's good.
Oh.
Watch it.
No, give it a shot. How about you, Demi?
I think I really like Legally Blonde, all of them.
Yeah.
Legally Blonde fan?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else now, but that was what I watched the most recent.
I have two favorites. My favorite is definitely Maybe. That's my favorite one.
Definitely, maybe.
Ryan Reynolds, the girl from Little Miss Sunshine. What's her name? Abigail Breslin. Is that her name? Is that?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
also in Zombieland and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Her incredible movie. I really like it because it's about like he's telling the story of how he met her. He ended up with her mom. But like he dates like 3 different women in the story that he's like, and he's having like his daughter guess. So it's like a love story between like it's 3 different love stories, but it's also about like a love for a father for his daughter. It's a great movie.
I think you just want approval for you to be some sort of man whore.
No, I just it's a great movie. And then my second favorite is Crazy Stupid Love because it's just
That's
that's really good.
Crazy
That's
Stupid
the
Love.
way
that
Ryan
one's just a
Gosling.
really fun ride.
That is a great movie.
It doesn't connect with me as much, but it's fun. It's a fun movie,
It's
An
a
underrated
fun-
one. It will.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Actually,
It will
yeah.
eventually connect with you because it's very, very age specific for what part of the
Generations.
story. Yeah.
I an underrated one is
Steve Carell in Too Many Layers
Yeah.
is still one of the best images. I mean, it's so hot. It's so hot. I got a shirt and then a sweater and then a vest and then a jacket.
Yeah.
Why is it so? It's just it's sucking in.
An underrated one is Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, it was one of those movies. You know how there's like Armageddon and what was the other one? Deep Impact, where it's like 2 movies that can't come out around the same time with the same premise. So you have that and No Strings Attached
Armageddon
came out
was
around the
Both
same time.
easily switched into pornographic names.
Yes, definitely.
Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Yeah.
Armageddon
Still-
was the one where they go to the asteroid. Deep Impact was that the one where they dive into the Earth?
No.
No, it's the same thing. It's the
It's
same.
the same
premise.
thing. It's
Oh.
the asteroid hits the earth. That's the difference.
Oh, okay.
Um,
What movie am I talking about? Where they get in like that tunnel machine and they're
The
trying
core.
to like the core. Yeah.
Where they have to reignite the earth, which is completely ludicrous.
yeah.
Yes.
I loved it.
With a nuke.
Hey, what movie when it's on the TV do you just be like, I'm gonna watch it? I just enjoy watching it. For me, it's the movie Dave. It is ridiculous, but also hilarious at the same time.
Major League. It's my favorite baseball movie. Although I do hate that they, bleep stuff out. So I'll be like, look at this guy, because then they look at this fucking guy like that.
Yeah.
That's your introduction to Charlie Sheen in Major League. Is he gets off a motorcycle, his hair's crazy as fuck. He's holding a trash bag full of his belongings, and
but it's like, look at this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's any of the Ocean series. If they're on, I'm gonna stick around. God, I think that's it. Like that. Those are the only ones that'll kind of keep me there.
How about you, Demi?
I also really like the Oceans, and they're always on TV, I feel like.
They are.
They're always on TV. It's a good watch. I love to see Brad Pitt whenever I can, but I really love the...
I love Brad Pitt eating.
I love Brad Pitt everything. But I love that movie, The Pelican. And that can be sometimes on TV. Is that the one with my husband?
Pelican Brief, or is it? There's
yeah,
one
the Pelican Brief. Yeah,
okay.
the Pelican Brief.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with many of your classic movies, so my husband is trying to introduce me to all of them. He's Canadian. I actually watched the Major League too, the one with the Charlie Sheen being super funny.
Good
yeah, so I all of those movies, now when I see them, I'm like, ooh, I want to rewatch that because I feel kind of obligated, and they're all so good.
You know what?
God. Imagine if William Shatner did the Wild Thing from Major League. Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
You make my heart sing.
Sing. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? To me, my wife, she didn't watch a lot of movies when she was younger. And I've exposed her to a lot of shows. So, like, when the pandemic started, we watched Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4. And she was like, those were all great movies. I'm like, they're just all good movies. Like, I don't care about anything. But it's the best part is that I realized that the first Lethal Weapon movie, Danny Glover is 41 when he first says, I'm too old for this shit. And I'm like, so this past August, I turned 41, and I'm like, I can officially say I am too old for this shit. Like, that's it. I've hit the line. I'm good. Okay? I'm on borrowed time as it is. I'm like, listen, no fucks given. Okay? I'm bald. I'm still fat. My wife loves me, and I'm a profitable citizen. I don't give a shit about everything else.
Give it up for Dino.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know how we follow that.
I don't know. Well, I never got to do my Shatner. What song you'd want to do? Katy Perry's Last Friday Night. Dino's better at the impression than I am.
Now you're just doing a William Shatner impression.
I feel like we're gonna have a recording session a little later.
That's incredible.
The only other halfway decent impression I can do is Kermit. So like Kermit as like the Emperor from Star Wars. Good work, Anakin. Now kill him.
Kill him now.
No.
Why don't
Kill
you let
him now.
the hateful hurt you? It's so much better. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I can do
okay, so it is very
good
sorry, go ahead.
Stitch impression from Lilo and Stitch. Ohana Lons Pamela.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's your mic messing up, but it did not look like the sounds matched how your mouth was moving, and it really tripped me out.
Because it comes from here. It comes from here, so it kind of looks weird.
It definitely does, and yeah, that was messed up.
It's from here.
And sometimes he freezes, like.
Yeah.
Did you do any impressions, Demi?
I did a few impressions this week. I filmed my first sketch, so we are yet to see if I can do impressions because I'm waiting for the edit of it. I will let you know next week.
Nice. Nice.
Bated breath. On that note, Demi, why don't you plug your social media where they can see the sketches?
Yes, I will. It's at Canadian. It will be on Instagram. Should I just write it in chat or?
No. We'll put a link to it. When the video comes
it'll
out.
be in the show notes or description.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell your friends, leave a review, leave a like, whatever thing you're
Etc.
watching.
Etc. How about you,
Etc.,
Atlas? Where can they find you?
etc.
You can find me at Atlas Novak. Fuck.
We worked on this last week.
I know. Okay, find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram. Find my other show at Nexus at Night also on Twitter, Instagram. It's about a trading card game. Don't like it? Completely understandable.
I love that you always give that disclaimer. You don't
Well,
like
it's
it?
one of those
That's
things
fine.
where
If you don't like it, suck it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's one of those things where people are like, you play trading card games? I'm like, yeah. If you don't like it, I completely understand that. It's a weird hobby. Bye.
Oh my god, my roommate just spent a
Let
decent
the
amount of
hate
time
flow through
setting
you.
up his Yu-Gi-Oh deck earlier in the week, so I
that's the
completely
thing.
understand. You can find me on Instagram at Nick Fernandez Comedy.
He did it wrong too. Fuck.
No, I did it perfectly. I did it perfectly. What are you talking
You were
about?
like
I
all the
came
way over
across.
here, and you had to like, yeah.
Across.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
anyway,
you know,
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. It's right here, just so you know. That's how you do it perfectly. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm everywhere. I'm doing a lot of videos.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I did it wrong the first time too. It's the
It's fantastic.
anyway. Yeah.
it's
I'm
your
on
brain.
this program like
Yeah.
7 times every week, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I've had to figure it out. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Because you're doing like this and random tandem and
this-
idiot says what.
Random Tandem, which is Saturdays at somewhere Saturday evening. Let's put it that way. It's usually at 9. I think it's at 11 o'clock right now.
Eastern time for you.
Eastern time.
West Coasters, yeah.
And then as well, there's Idiot Says What Tuesdays at 9. What else? Stay at Home Show on Fridays, and then Generation Dan every Thursday comes out. So
I'm tired just listening to that lineup.
it's
Hey, you know what?
exhausting.
He does
and I
a
have
lot.
to be funny for all of them.
That's why you gotta like
So
just
that
look at his
explains
page
this
and then he's got all
episode.
the
He
links.
ran out. He
Yeah.
ran out.
Okay.
He ran out when he got
So-
here today.
I gotta ask one more thing before we go to me. You're a comedian, as are the rest of us. What is the weirdest set that you've ever done? Good or bad?
The weirdest set I've ever done was in Orono, Ontario. Do you guys know where is Orono? Atlas, you
Orono.
probably don't.
Mm.
Orono. It's this
Orinoco,
tiny
Florida.
Orono, Ontario.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sail away, sail away,
Uh,
away.
So it was like a weed room, and there's this lady. I forgot what is her name, but she has a weed shop in this. It's not even a town; it's a village, and like all the people in the village who smoke weed came there. It was just very strange. I don't know how to.
Did it have
explain
like
it.
two
It's
little rooms where you're standing in the center?
Yeah. Have you
I
seen
did that room.
You did that room. You did
Yeah.
that room. You see,
Wait. So
you
you guys were
drive.
you guys were in the center of the room where everybody's around you.
No, it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like there was a one room here and then there was
Yeah.
another room to your left. So like you had to like turn to two different audiences.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
weird.
the audiences couldn't see each other.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
awful.
But
And they were high,
why?
so it took like how long does it take them to laugh at me? It's so long.
I stopped doing weed rooms for that because I'm like, it's just annoying.
But this room was also it was as if you were part of some kind of cult. They were great people, but it was just so strange. I felt like I'm in a documentary or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time. I can't believe we both
What
did
a
that.
try.
That's hilarious.
It's amazing that we both did it, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I've done worse sets than that, definitely, but I will never forget that room.
That's so weird that you have to like constantly be on a swivel to like see
What a
everybody.
time.
Yeah.
On top of being high. Like, that's, no.
I did one at a Cuban restaurant last week that was like really fun. But the stage is the top of a wheelchair ramp. So you just walk up to the top and there's like a little railing. And you're just at the thing where the chair is supposed to turn to go down the ramp. So you have like, and then just one spotlight across the room, and then everybody. So like, it technically is a stage. It's just like, I don't know, the size of your foot. Because if you want to like move, you have to go down a wheelchair. And so what I did instead was I have this bit about like accidentally doing a set high and like being incredibly afraid to come out from behind the curtain. So I had to pull the sliding door, go behind the sliding door, and then do the act out where I just slowly pull it and then come around. So like it worked out fine, but it was just so weird to be at the top of a wheelchair ramp.
Wow.
That is really strange.
Yeah.
Well, for more accessible comedy, check out. This has been great. Thanks for coming on, Demi.
Thank you guys for having me. It was so nice to see you two together. I honestly didn't know. I thought it would be just you, Nick, and we are going to chat. We didn't
I
talk
was
much about
thinking
it.
about telling you that Dino was involved, and I was like, "That what a great surprise!" It's like it's so jarring to just be suddenly Dino.
Yeah,
Suddenly Dino.
Suddenly Dino. And it was also jarring to see you two together because you never know who hangs out with who, and I never would connect you two because I never saw you before together.
I don't like him. Don't worry. Don't think that I actually like him.
We did find the episode title though. Suddenly Dino'd.
Suddenly
Dino.
That is fantastic.
Suddenly Dino.
All right.
That's what I'm calling it.
So nice to see you. I look forward to your sketches that are coming out though. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun, and have a great Saturday.
All right, have a good
Thank
week,
you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Last three nights, we danced on tabletops and took too many shots.
Sounds like a treasure. I would love
Think we
it.
kissed, but I forgot. Last Friday nights,